Hi, this is Nicholas Yock, a registered migration and education agent from Pathway to Oz. Today, I'm going to discuss transitioning onto the permanent stage of the partner visa. Okay, so look, when you apply for the partner visa to Australia, you initially apply for both the temporary and the permanent sort of stage. Immigration will usually grant the temporary partner visa first. So currently it's taking anywhere from 4 months to 18 months or longer. And this temporary partner visa will allow you to live and work in Australia and be with your partner. In most circumstances, you're not granted the permanent visa straight away. So you lodge the visa, you're granted the temporary visa, and then 2 years after lodging the initial application, you can sort of apply to transition onto that permanent stage. So the application for a permanent partner visa, or the process of transitioning onto it, is nowhere near as complex as the initial application. You've already demonstrated to immigration that you meet the de facto or the spousal requirement with your initial application. Immigration essentially just want to be sure that you're still in a genuine and loving relationship before they grant the permanent visa. You do have to provide some new documentation. However, it's nowhere near as much as the first application. Okay, so look, in order to move on to the second stage or the permanent visa, you must log on to your IMI account and choose stage 2 permanent partner visa application. It is quite a long form, but just get through it. So what documentation do you need to provide? I would recommend providing documentation to sort of demonstrate that the relationship has been ongoing since you lodged the initial application. So evidence that you live together, lease agreement, joint bank statements, recent photos, travel tickets, a lot of similar stuff that you provided probably with your initial application, but just more recent. There's a few documents that you will 100% need to provide. So the first is 2 new 888 forms, and the second is a stat deck from your partner, and we've put the links to these below. But yeah, once again guys, nowhere near as much documentation as the initial application. All right, so is there a cost for the second stage? No, there's no cost guys, it's free. When you paid that big sum of money at the very start, that covers this step too. How long will it take until you actually receive the permanent visa? So look guys, the processing time for applications once you do receive the permanent visa varies a lot. We've had it take almost instantly, so 24 hours, a couple of days, and sometimes it takes several months. It just depends on the case officer who's got your application. All right, so what happens if I've broken up with my partner? So if you break up with your partner after you get granted the permanent visa, nothing really happens. You're a permanent resident of Australia. However, if you have broken up with your partner before the permanent visa has been granted, technically you should inform immigration. And unfortunately, unless under very certain situations like death of your partner or domestic abuse or stuff like that, you may not be able to progress to the permanent visa stage. Look guys, I hope you found this information useful. Immigration just essentially wants to ensure that you're still in a relationship with your partner before they give you the PR. It's a very simple process and much easier compared to the initial application, so don't be scared off. Thanks very much.